For 24 years, football has agreed on one sentence. The 2002 World Cup was stolen. In 24 years, no court and no federation has ever found that it was. So we took all 5 famous calls and ran them through one test. Can this be measured at all? Put a number on your certainty. Not a feeling, a number with an error bar on it. 3 of the 5 cannot be measured. Not by us, not by VAR, not ever. 1 was wrong, and the referee himself says so, and it is not the one you are angry about. And the most famous measurement in this story has no source at all. Nobody ever measured it. We went and looked. 5 calls, 0 findings, 1 measurement that does not exist. This is the referee engine. Start with what you already believe because most of it is true. The 18th of June, 2002, round of 16. South Korea 2, Italy 1 after extra time. 4 days later, the quarterfinal. South Korea 0, Spain 0. Korea take the shootout 5-3. A co-host reaches the semifinal. 2 of the biggest teams in the world go home, and the calls that sent them home all leaned one way: Italy. A penalty to Korea in the 3rd minute and missed. A second yellow for Francesco Totti for what the referee judged to be simulation. A golden goal by Damiano Tomasi, ruled out for offside. Spain. A header disallowed for an alleged foul in the build-up. And in extra time, a Morientes header ruled out because a linesman judged the ball had already crossed the byline. 5 calls. Every one of them against the team you watched go out. Italy's reaction was not sporting disappointment, it was a government minister. Franco Frattini on the day, the referee was a disgrace, absolutely scandalous. It seemed as if they just sat around a table and decided to throw us out. 13 years later, an Italian newspaper printed the accusation outright. It alleged that FIFA figures had a hand in the appointments and that Moreno curbed Italy's campaign in the same week as the FIFA corruption arrests. No outlet reporting it identified any evidence behind it. No investigation followed it. No prosecutor. No federation. No ethics committee. This is where a normal video starts shouting at you. We are going to try to measure it instead. The first thing the test does is brutal. It sorts your 5 calls into 2 piles. Pile 1 is geometry. Where was the ball? Where was the defender's shoulder? Those questions have an answer that exists whether or not anybody likes it. Pile 2 is judgment. Was that contact a foul? Did that man go down on purpose? Those questions have no answer. Not a hidden one. Not a disputed one. None. There is no instrument in 2002 or in 2026 that measures intent. VAR does not measure it either. The final call is still one referee's judgment informed by a second official's. So sort them. The penalty in the 3rd minute, judgment. Totti's second yellow, judgment. Spain's first disallowed goal, judgment. And the sources cannot even agree what the offense was. 3 of your 5 calls just left the room. Not exonerated, not defended, unmeasurable. You have spent 24 years arguing about 3 opinions. That is not a conspiracy. That is football. 2 calls survive the sort. Both are geometry. Both have a right answer. And here, 2002 does something no modern controversy can do to us. It refuses to be measured. On every other call this channel has run, you could demand the frame and get it. Here, there is nothing to hand you. In the VAR era, a disputed offside arrives with a frame number and a camera calibration. You can argue with it. You can demand the frame. That is the whole job here. 2002 has none of it. Goal line technology was not approved by the game's lawmakers until July 2012. Semi-automated offside did not reach a World Cup until 2022. In 2002, the offside line was a man running sideways, deciding with his eyes. There is no data. There is only television. A broadcast camera is not a measuring instrument. It stands where the picture is best. We rebuild from coordinates. 2002 left none. So everything we stage here illustrates a described geometry. It is not evidence. Take the first one, extra time. Italy are out of the World Cup in minutes unless they score. Damiano Tommasi puts the ball in the net, the flag goes up, offside, and in 2002 that ends Italy's tournament because of a rule football has since deleted. Golden goal. Score in extra time and the match stops. Instantly. The lawmakers abolished it in February 2004. On that night, it was live. So one flag is the difference between a semi-final and a plane home. Was he offside? The most forensic account of that match calls the margin a hair's width. Read that again. It is not a measurement. It is a phrase. Nobody has ever published a distance for this call. Not in 24 years of arguing about it. Here is what our reconstruction can honestly give you. So count what nobody recorded. 1. Which frame the ball was played in. In the VAR era, that is a number you can demand. In 2002, it was never written down. 2. Where the camera stood. No calibration survives because none was ever taken. 3. Which part of Tommasi was in front? Nobody drew a line on any part of him because there was no line to draw. Stack those 3, and the band is not centimeters wide. It is wide enough to swallow a shoulder, an arm, and the whole argument, and we cannot narrow it because none of the 3 was ever recorded. So the verdict is the one we say most often here. The margin was smaller than the error bar, which means we cannot tell you Tommasi was onside, and nobody who has ever shouted about this call could tell you either. They were not measuring. They were remembering. The referee does not even claim that flag as his. Byron Moreno says it was his assistant's decision. Hold that. He admits one mistake, and it is a card he did not give. On the tackle that ended Gianluca Zambrotta's match. We will come back to who that would have punished. 4 days later, the quarterfinal and the call Spain has never let go of. Early in extra time, still 0-0, Joaquin goes to the byline and crosses. Fernando Morientes heads it in. A flag says the ball was already out. No goal. Now remember which rule was live. That header does not just put Spain ahead. It ends the match on the spot. Spain into a World Cup semifinal that second. So how far inside the line was the ball? You have probably seen the answer. Half a meter. It is everywhere. We went to find out who measured it. Nobody did. That figure appears word for word across page after page. No analyst, no camera angle, no method. It has been repeated for years, and we could not find anybody who took it. The only description we could source at all is Spanish press, and it is not a measurement. The ball was in play by several centimeters. No measurer named. That is the entire evidence base under the most cited measurement in this controversy. A number feels like proof. It survives being repeated. A phrase does not. So take the question with you. Every time a number arrives without an author, who measured it? Except this one call has something no other call in 2002 has. The referee said it out loud. Gamal Al-Ghandour in a Spanish newspaper. June 2022. 20 years on. He defends nearly everything. He says his performance was excellent. He says FIFA rated him 8.7 out of 10. His claim, not a document anyone can check. And then he concedes exactly one thing. The only debatable play was Morientes' goal. Joaquin's cross did not leave the field. That is the man who let the flag stand, saying the ball was in. And yes, we just refused a 20-year-old memory as evidence. A fan remembering a margin is a memory. A referee conceding his own call is a statement against interest. It is not a measurement. In this case, it is better than one. It comes from the official who let that flag stand, conceding the one call he could most easily have kept defending. He also blames the men holding the flags. The performance of the two assistants was disastrous. We will not name them. This channel does not hand a linesman a verdict, it refuses to hand a referee. So, one call the official himself concedes was wrong, but it is not the call you came here angry about. You do not chant about a linesman's flag on a cross. You chant about a red card. So the tally is 3 unmeasurable, 1 unresolved, 1 conceded. And still, 1 wrong flag against Spain feels like too much of a coincidence. Does it? In 2010, researchers did the thing nobody did in 2002. They counted. They went back through the offside flags of that World Cup, one at a time. Of the 222 times an assistant referee raised the flag for offside, 58 were wrong. 26.1%. Say it precisely because we are not going to let ourselves round it up. That is the error rate among flags that went up. It is not every offside in the tournament. Even scoped that tightly, more than 1 raised flag in 4 was wrong. At a World Cup. That rate belonged to the tournament, not to 2 matches inside it. Every team in that tournament, including yours, played in front of the same eyes. The same study counted the 2006 World Cup too. 24 signals out of 240. 10.0%. That rate did not fall because a conspiracy ended. It fell in 4 years, with no conspiracy ending in between. Now hold those 2 facts together, and the story you walked in with quietly dies. A tournament getting more than a quarter of its raised flags wrong does not need anybody to be bought. It produces the week you are angry about on its own, and it predicts wrong flags in the biggest matches because the wrong flags were spread across the whole tournament. You were told the system was sound, and 1 man broke it. The measured answer is that the system was this bad everywhere, and nobody was counting. Which leaves the accusation itself, and the 24 years you have spent carrying it for somebody. So what does the record actually hold? Not what you were told. FIFA admitted the mistakes within days, in public. Its referees committee said there had been 1 or 2 mistakes, and that referees are human. Sepp Blatter said the whole system of selecting and designating referees needed to be looked at. What the record does not hold is a finding. No sanction over either match, no ethics ruling, no prosecution, no court, nothing. Not in 2002. Not after the 2015 newspaper piece. Not in the 24 years since. There is one more thing you will reach for. Take it away carefully. In 2010, Byron Moreno was arrested at a New York airport carrying roughly 6 kilograms of heroin. That is a fact, and it is the wrong fact. It happened 8 years after the tournament, and FIFA addressed it at the time in writing. The arrest of Byron Moreno appears to be completely unrelated to football. Appears to be. That hedge is theirs, and we are keeping it. A man can be arrested in 2010 and be a referee who made mistakes in 2002. One does not retroactively prove the other, and his own account 20 years on is stranger than anything you were told. He rates that night 8.5 out of 10. He says no decision of his changed the result. He regrets exactly 1 call. Going back, I would have given a red card to the Korean player. The one mistake the referee admits is a punishment he failed to give against South Korea. That is not what a bought man remembers. And no, that does not prove his innocence. That would be the same mistake in the other direction. It means you have nothing here to weigh. There never was. One person was punished for the 2002 World Cup, and he was not an official. An Jung-hwan scored the goal that ended Italy's tournament. He was playing his club football in Italy on loan at Perugia. The club's president, Luciano Gauci, reported in these words, "That man will never set foot in Perugia again. I have no intention of paying a salary to someone who has ruined Italian football." He never played for Perugia again. His offense was a header in the 117th minute. Look at what your certainty actually cost and who paid it. Neither referee was ever sanctioned over these matches. Both kept their good opinion of themselves. The newspaper printed its allegation and moved on. The only person punished for that night was the player who scored. That is what an unproven certainty costs. It never lands where you aimed it. So, put your number on it. 5 famous calls. 3 of them opinions, and an opinion has no right answer. 1 flag nobody can check, then or now, because 2002 recorded nothing. 1 call conceded wrong by the referee who oversaw it 20 years late. 1 tournament that got more than a quarter of its offside flags wrong, and 0 findings of fixing from anyone, ever. That is not an acquittal. We do not hand those out. It is something less comfortable. There is nothing on the scale. You do not need a conspiracy to explain 2002. You need a linesman, a rulebook with a golden goal in it, and nobody counting. Here is what you can do with this tonight. Next time somebody hands you a number about a refereeing scandal, ask 1 question. Who measured it? Follow it back. Half a meter did not survive that question. Most of them do not. We came to measure a robbery and found there had never been anything to measure. Next time, Coventry against Manchester United at Wembley, a goal in the 121st minute, disallowed for offside in the build-up. A margin that decided a semi-final. We are going to go looking for the number behind it.